What is up, guys? The market is red, just like the thumbnail. Everybody's panicking, but nobody noticed what this partnership means for Zebec. We'll get into that and more, but cue my guy Indigo Saint. Let's get it. Boom. Let's get it. Indigo Saint in the building. Blackrue Investing. Let's go.
Who's this producer?
Best believe it was Blackrue Investing. With your money, you ain't gotta be guessing. Profits is what we manifesting, so we binge on that Blackrue Investing. Best believe it was Blackrue Investing. Not course in this race, we ain't resting. We got stocks, we got crypto with a blessing. Just thank God for that Blackrue Investing. Best believe it was Blackrue Investing.
So I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I think the market is going down more. Shout out to my guy, Crypto Future. Rob, he did call it. I think we're going probably down to 55, like Rob said here. And hey, however, I believe that is an opportunity. It's an opportunity. We'll never get that again in the market. Again, when Bitcoin's back over 100K, whether you got in at the 70, 75-ish area or the 55K-ish area, you're still going to be up, right? So also, bearer of bad news, AI and robotics are going to take a lot of jobs. So where are you going to be, right? What are you going to do? Are you going to be an investor? Are you going to be a have, not a have not? Are you ready, right? Well, let's get into it. Let's talk about it. Let me share my screen here. I think the first place to start here might be the chart. Let's start at the chart. So Bitcoin, ever since Saylor said what Saylor did, is falling right here, right? I got the GAN fan up. What I love about the GAN fan is each fan is kind of like the Fibonacci sequence. It kind of shows you over time where we can fall. Well, we're in this kind of band here, right? And in this band, you can see touching down to the dark green, that's around 55, 52. When all is said and done, I think we get down there, right? So might be for the whole month of June in towards the July area, we work our way down there, okay? So again, though, this is an opportunity. This is an opportunity to get all the bags that you didn't get at a low price, move some of your dry powder, because I'm sure you, like me, get paid, every 2 weeks or every week or however you get paid, right? And that dry powder can be put towards the project you like the most. But of course, in this community, shout out to us. Near is the gift that keeps going, right? It is running inverse of the market, inverse of Bitcoin, and it continues to rise. We talked about this in the Patreon first at $1.16, $1.17. I think we talked about it in like the general for the general people around 170 or lower, maybe even. But Patreon people, we got this at 117. Okay. So it's the gift that keeps on giving. But today, just wanted to throw that in there about near. Well, our focus today is going to be Zebec. Let's go into the spaces that they just did here with a Google guy, a YouTube guy. Let me bring that spaces up. I had it already loaded, but I had a little problem starting. I don't know if you guys realize that. That's why it took me so long to get in here, guys. But let's continue here. Let me go to spaces and just let me know if you guys hear it. We'll start it and we'll probably play most of it because every bit of it was juicy. I listened to it beforehand. So this is a reaction, but it's not a like stone cold reaction because I did listen to it, some of it ahead of time.
Great. Well, look, we're 1 minute past already, so I'm going to fire it straight into it if it's okay with you.
Let's get going.
Okay, lovely job. Well, look, welcome everyone to another Zebec Spaces. It's been a couple of weeks since we last got together with Simon. So first part of today's show is going to be a little bit of a community catch up. I've prepared some quick fire questions for Simon just to bring everyone up to...
And also, guys, stick around because we're going to talk about this partnership. He did not announce the partnership. It's something completely different, this partnership, that nobody noticed, that I think has really big Zebec implications. We're going to get to that after we finish talking here about the spaces, because this is a very important spaces when it comes to agentic AI and Zebec's space and role in agentic AI. Again, we started the show and we told you guys, hey, agentic AI and robots are going to take a lot of the jobs out here. So you got to be prepared. And the best way to prepare, what are going to be some of the cryptos that are going to take advantage of stable coins, advantage of the agentic AI economy? Well, we're going to tell you some of those in the Patreon. Shout out to the Patreon. Shout out to the Root Crew. But also, we've told you a couple already, which is Zebec and Near. They will take very good advantage of the agentic economy, the agentic AI space, and all of these stable coins. A lot of the liquidity in crypto is going to go to stable coins. Look at the top 50 or the top 100 cryptos. Well, a lot of them are stable coins, right? So a lot of liquidity is going to go to stable coins. And who has the biggest advantage there right now? Hands down, I feel like it's Zebec. They can connect to the world's biggest and best and most regulated stable coins. And Near is also a company that does that. And we have others that we talk about in the Patreon. Shout out to you guys. But let's get into the spaces. Again, I think you're going to love it. Simon did talk about a lot of juicy stuff here.
Up to spec on what's going on. There's been a lot happening across Zebec, from the Stellar partnership, Ripple, stable coins, mobile, super app. My goodness, there's so many things that we want to cover. And I've been speaking with a number of people in the community. So we've got some great questions prepped from that perspective. And then the second half, we're going to zoom out a little bit and talk about the future of AI and agentic commerce and payments with Julian Matkins here, who leads AI and agentic commerce across YouTube and Google. I think he'll do a much better job of introducing himself when I bring him up in a little bit. But the big idea today is simple, really. If AI is starting to become a bit more operational, and software is starting to do more than answer questions, it can now manage tasks and coordinate workflows and increasingly participate in commerce. If that is the future, then the next question is, how does AI safely access money, budgets, cards, payments, and treasury systems?
And that's the big thing, guys, there. AI is going to increasingly embed itself into commerce. And every bit of that commerce is going to have Zebec there, right? From payroll, the moment you get paid, to your taxes, to your investing, that whole gamut, to loans and lending. Zebec's going to be right there with the moment and the second you make your money, spend your money, invest your money, Zebec's there, right? So again, this is going to be very, very important about the future. And the future, I told you guys, watch my show that I did here a couple lives ago. The whole world as we know it is going to change in 2 years or less. There were stats that I gave you from Artemis in which they believe that there will be more AI agents than humans by 2027. Here we are in June. That's about less than 6 months away. So just keep that in mind.
And that's where things get really, really interesting when it comes to Zebec also. So really looking forward to firing up into that one in a moment. Julian, bear with us. I will rattle through these questions with Simon, and then we should be in a good spot to jump in with you. So Firstly, Simon, how are you? It feels like you've had lots bubbling away over the last few weeks. And before we get into specific updates, how are you feeling about where Zebec is right now?
I mean, amazing to think that we're already in June. We've passed 5 months of this year. We're almost at the halfway mark, and I can say we've never been busier as a company, and that's a good thing. I mean, we've been shipping new product each month. We've been expanding into new chains and ecosystems, and of course, onboarding bigger and bigger enterprises, which we're going to get into a little bit more today. But from my vantage point, it's extremely exciting to see our early thesis on real-time payments and stablecoins be validated by the market in such a way. And I know we still have so much more in store for the second half of the year.
I love it. I cannot believe we're now in like the second half of 2026. Bonkers.
Almost. We're not there yet, but we're
Well, yeah, it's nuts though, right? Okay. I'm going to fire a bunch of quick questions to you just to speed run the community and get them up to date on where you're at with things. So let's start with Stellar, which has been getting a lot of attention recently. The token has been performing really strongly, actually, at their end. And then there's been real momentum around their whole ecosystem. You and I were talking a bit about the DTCC tokenization announcement, which caught loads of attention. Why is the Stellar moment important, and how does Zebec fit into that bigger picture?
Well, we're incredibly excited to see Stellar finally announce its partnership now publicly with the DTCC. We, of course, at Zebec, we know the team at DTCC well. We're proud to see its tokenization journey start on the Stellar blockchain. I know they're going to be expanding beyond Stellar from there. But of course, Stellar is also the same chain that we are delivering our first enterprise payroll product on natively outside of Solana. We announced that back in March. We've been in heavy development mode now for the past 2 months. We've been in touch with the Stellar team almost daily. The product is in very final stages. But in our view, the longer term plan with Stellar would include a lot of different tokenized assets and investment products coming on chain directly within our payroll app on Stellar.
So Simon said so much there, and he said it all in 30 seconds. So he said he's glad to know that they finally announced this publicly. So it's been in the works for a while, right? The DTCC Stellar thing, right? And he also said coming to the Super app, and the Super app is going to onboard their first enterprise clients, but tokenized products, tokenized stocks are coming to the Super app, right? And this is something I told you guys was going to come to on the Super app, and Simon's told us before that it's going to come on the Super app. Pause. That tokenized stocks are going to come on the Super app. So very, very, very awesome there from Simon. And let's continue.
So the DTC announcement is a step in that direction. I think we're going to see a lot of equity funds and other assets tokenized via DTCC on Stellar. And what does that mean for our clients? Well, if you're able to invest your treasury as a company or your earnings as an employee or contractor by just transferring at the click of a button within our app on Stellar, that is an extremely powerful hook to bring more payroll volumes onto Stellar via Zebec. So we're super excited to see Stellar bring on all of these real world offerings such as MoneyGram, such as DTCC, as it really opens Zebec up further to these solutions as well.
I love that. And where is the Zebec product right now? Like, that's going to be connected to Stellar. Where are you at in terms of development of that?
We are going live next week in enterprise pilot mode for the enterprise payroll app on Stellar. We're completing final audits. The Stellar team is also doing their review. So everything is going to be live within the next couple of days. And our first test pilot is going to be with a division of a major European bank, which is going to announce publicly, which we're super excited about. But of course, we have to absolutely nail it because these are bigger and bigger enterprises that we're working with now. So the stakes get higher. And if you
So they're going live next week with a major European bank. Okay. And Simon also threw in there MoneyGram. More on MoneyGram later. If you are not aware, MoneyGram just released its first stablecoin, MoneyGram specific stablecoin. Them and SoFi are one of the two biggest companies here lately to announce their own personal stable coins. Very, very huge news there. And Simon made sure that he mentioned MoneyGram. So apparently, he might have known that this was already in the works as well. Zebec might have helped with that, but we'll get into that more later. Let's continue.
We look down at our pipeline, we're ready to onboard a few other big ones, including a global IT staffing business, a consulting business. So let's just say the enterprises are very hungry to run payroll on Stellar via Zebec.
Global IT support and staffing business. Could this be ServiceNow? It would be so insane crazy if this is ServiceNow that he's talking about, or a company like Wipro, which is like on Stellar, on Hedera's governance council. So whether it's ServiceNow, Wipro, or some other big staffing agency, it's going to be amazing to see that alongside what's going on with this European bank. Okay, let's continue.
We've also upgraded our enterprise UI UX, and it's actually a drastic change to what we had before available to retail users in the super app. And it allows Zebec now to compete strongly in this 1,000+ employee segment of multinationals and Fortune 500s, which is really our next phase as a company. So we're extremely excited for all that to go live in the next week.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And I'm excited. I've got something actually about that whole like new enterprise dashboard in a minute. But before we get to that, you've been advising the Financial Services Committee, right? In like the House of Lords, I think I saw again. We're talking about stablecoin regulation here, which is like a serious signal now around how Zebec is kind of being viewed. Am I right? You were at the House of Lords last week here in the UK. Can you tell us anything about that?
Yeah, I think it's been a few weeks now, but I was over there in the House of Lords in London, of course, advising the Financial Services Committee alongside other crypto industry players such as Coinbase, Ripple, and a few other partners, actually. And it's really great to see that the House of Lords is now again opening up to stable coins. You've seen some updated guidance from the Bank of England. We're expecting an update from the FCA now in the fall. And us at Zebec, we're getting positioned now to finally enter the UK market, which is really off limits for us for payroll for the longest time. And we're now in discussion actually with a company called TGBP, which is really the leading tokenized version of the Great British Pound, all done within a regulatory framework here in the UK.
I love that. What can you share about that then? What does that tell us about the direction of stablecoin regulation here in the UK? You think we're close?
Well, it's looking good. I mean, TGBP has been around for years. They're the first regulated tokenized version of the pound. They're FCA registered. They're backed by Coinbase. And they're really our leading pick in the UK to drive enterprise adoption here, just as Circle's done with USDC in the US. All Unity, of course, has done it with Euro AU in Europe, with European enterprises. So we're now positioned to integrate TGBP as our first UK stablecoin, and we're going to begin onboarding UK enterprises for the very first time. So stay tuned for an announcement on that very soon. And for us, it's of course a new market. It's one that we've waited years to access in the compliant way. So it's going to drive additional volume and additional enterprises for us this year, kind of above and beyond what we were even expecting just a few weeks ago.
Fantastic.
Okay, so they're entering the Europe market with TGVP, I believe is the way Simon said it. He also made sure to mention All Unity stablecoin, in which they were announced as the global payroll partner for All Unity. So now they're in the European market. Also note that they're in the Southeast Asia, Middle East market with World Liberty Financial. And of course, they're here in America with NatPay and Swift with the American market as well. So 3 different markets on 3 different continents. Amazing to note that this is a global company getting global liquidity, right?
Fantastic. As someone here in the UK, I cannot tell you how excited I am to see.
Exactly, man. I mean, yes, we'll have to start paying you with TGBP. So.
I love that. That'd be great. Well, let's talk about the big bit of news we spoke about the last time we were together, which was Ripple. You'd just been to XRP Vegas. I know we need to be careful on details here, but you said Zebec has kind of close to the contract signing phase. What can you say at a high level about Ripple and, why that relationship matters?
Well, as our community knows, we are bringing enterprise payroll to Ripple this year, and it's without a doubt going to be our biggest partnership to date. It opens Zebec up to one of the most important ecosystems and payment networks in crypto, and we're now in the final stages of legal review. We have a lot of big product updates to ship before we switch gears fully to Ripple on the XRPL. So I do ask everyone to bear with us and stay tuned for updates coming very, very soon. But as you can imagine, when you work with very large companies, there is a lot of legal red tape and T's that need to be crossed before you can go public.
Yeah, absolutely. I think everyone understands where we are with that. I think the other thing that I've certainly been picking up from within the community is people just wanting to get to the bottom of the mobile super app and where we're at with that. I know the community's been waiting patiently. I've been very fortunate and I've been given some test flight access to come in and help you guys test it. It's really exciting, but where are we at now with the super app? And perhaps maybe give a little bit of color as to why it's taken a little bit longer than expected.
It's a good question. I mean, the mobile super app's now been in final testing for the month of May, and it's in great shape. As you said, many have tested it within test flights. However, we are waiting on regulatory approval for App Store release in certain markets. And that is the reason why the launch date has unfortunately slipped by a few weeks. We need to be really careful of all the compliance and regulatory boxes that have to be ticked before you release an app like this. And we've made major strides over the past year with our own internal compliance standards. And we wouldn't want to backtrack on any of those achievements due to us, rushing a product launch. So that being said, we do expect everything to be completed over the next couple of weeks. And we see the super app mobile version launching live in app stores in many of our core markets in the month of June. So rest assured, we are doing everything that we can to get it live. However, we cannot jeopardize some of our compliance standards and some of our certifications to do this.
And I think that's really,
very
really
good answer there from Simon. I know there was some question about that on this channel as well. People were asking about that. Me as a software engineer, I know there are tons of compliances. You have penetration tests, you have audits, you have different compliances for different countries. Again, we just talked about the fact that they're global. So there might be different compliances for this country than that. So again, I'm glad that they're not rushing that. They're using, they're going to be in charge of enterprises, right? Multiple enterprises and access to people's money, their bank account, their identity. It's going to be very, very important that you have that right, you have that compliant, and it cannot be penetrated by any hackers. That is very, very important, and you don't want to rush that. So definitely take as much time as you need with that, Zebec. Simon is saying that it should be done by June, but again, who knows? Because these compliances change. There are different attack vectors. There are different types of viruses and different types of hacks that come out every day, every second. So if it was July, that would be fine too. But as we heard here from Simon, it should be June.
Hit home for people, obviously people want this bullish news all of the time so that they can go track that, how it correlates versus token and all of those things. But on the other side of it, you guys are building an incredible business here that provides infrastructure for so many things that really need kind of hand holding when it means coming into this space. And so I hope people will understand how important it is that you guys get all of these things right from a legal and compliance perspective.
Exactly. I mean, the days of just being a crypto project are over for us, right? We are a regulated payments company. We serve multiple geographies and regions.
Yeah.
And because of that, things do take longer than they used to.
Totally get it. One thing super important right now is this enterprise dashboard that you spoke about a moment ago. It kind of moves Zebec beyond our interface into something much bigger. So what does the new enterprise dashboard unlock?
It's an enormous step up for us, and it is going to be offered alongside our standard dashboard through the super app. So the enterprise dashboard is a completely overhauled UI UX. It's built from multinationals and Fortune 500s in mind. It has the ability to handle thousands of employees with complex corporate hierarchies, expense departments, allocations. So it is a turbocharged version of our core payroll app. And it is also going to be the first to feature some of our newer products, which we've mentioned now before, but a corporate card product is going to be coming to market in the next couple of months as well, which will sit within that enterprise dashboard, along with treasury management and yield tools, which really go hand in hand with any finance department or HR department that needs to manage payroll on a large scale.
Fantastic.
So treasury management, yield tools, right? And they've completely revamped the UI so that they can be used with an enterprise. They're going to have thousands of employees. They're going to be things like the treasury and the yield that they're going to need to take care of. And also, we brought this to you guys. It was announced, I believe, on the Paul Barron interview that Simon did, in which he said that they would have a corporate enterprise card for the corporate people, a specific enterprise card that they can use for the enterprise, right? And shout out to us. We also have a Simon Babakani exclusive interview on the Patreon, and he still hasn't dropped the nugget, the straight bomb he dropped in our interview. Definitely come over to the Patreon and check it out. If you kind of need a proof of interview, I can show you that right here. This is us at XRP Las Vegas. You can see us walking in here.
Let me get this.
That was Simon graciously opening the door for me there. So the interview is on the Patreon, and he still hasn't mentioned the bomb that he dropped on our interview. Thank you so much for that, Simon. I really appreciate it. And let's get back to our spaces here.
And finally, before we bring Julian in, you and I were chatting away the other day. The Black card is coming back.
Yes, Black is coming back. So a new high limit card is going to be reintroduced by Zebec. Of course, backed by customer demand, our Black card was very popular. It's going to start as an invite only program for our top clients and maybe some select community members. And this is a card product that is going to have a limit that is now multiples higher as to what our carbon card can offer. So it's really for people that are big spenders, organizations, etc.
Amazing. Sorry, I hope you didn't put you on the spot with that one, but I think it's a really exciting one. Okay, well, look, thank you, Simon. Really, really appreciate you, quick firing those answers out. I know the community will be really pleased with some of the answers, and it gives us all a little bit of an understanding in terms of where you are right now. I want to jump in with Julian in a moment, because when you look at like everything Zebec is building, stablecoin rails, streaming payments, treasury infrastructure, virtual cards, off-ramps, enterprise dashboards, regulated payment products, like it starts to map very naturally onto a much bigger trend. And that is, AI moving from passive assistants to like active operators. And that means that software won't just help us write and search and create and summarize, but it will increasingly manage workflows, buy tools, pay for services, handle subscriptions, coordinate budgets, and I guess most importantly, operate across platforms. So the missing layer becomes payments. And, then we start asking questions like, how does an AI agent get access to money without having unlimited control? How do businesses create spending rules? How do you approve merchants and categories, budgets, payment flows? And weirdly, without even trying, this is kind of the stuff that Zebec has been built to answer, right? Not necessarily pointed at AI, but you somehow find yourself in a position where you have all of the infrastructure built out, ready to go for this. So I think it's super cool, very, very exciting. Simon, I saw you hanging out at Google.
And shout out to Ben White. He always does an excellent job narrating these, hosting these spaces. Everything that he just said there in the last 30 seconds is where agentic AI is heading. And Zebec is at the forefront of that. But understand, everything that he said also is going to impact jobs. It's going to impact retail jobs. It's going to impact the service industry. A lot of people are going to lose their service jobs. a lot of HR are going to lose HR jobs to agentic AI, right? So where are you going to be? Are you going to be a have or a have not? Are you going to be invested in what's leading the way with this technology, or are you going to be left behind, right? This is what you have to decide for yourself as an investor out here. And I'm not looking to be left behind here, guys. I don't know about y'all. And again, I'm not saying that I'm looking forward to people losing their jobs or anything like that. Don't get me wrong, but it's happening. It is going to happen, right? And there's nothing we can do about it other than position ourselves and our families in order to take advantage of it, right?
Google last week, sending images into the into the community and getting everyone very, very excited. So I'm very, very excited to crack on with it all. Simon, anything you want to add before I just bring Julian in?
No, we're excited to have Julian on and shed a little bit more light into all the cool things happening between Google and Zebec.
Love that. Julian, hello, welcome. Thank you for your patience, sir. How are you?
Doing well, yeah. Thank you for having me. I've been a huge fan of Zebec for the past year, as well as Simon. So really excited to be on the show today.
Yeah, I love that, and it's great to meet you a bit earlier today. And
so he's been a huge fan of Zebec. Now that leads me to believe that they've had multiple talks, right? And of course, Simon lives in the UK, and he, had a meeting there at Google. I forget who said it. It was someone in my comments, shout out to them. I did 2 shows on the whole Google Zebec thing, and someone in the comments, you know who you are. I just want to give you credit in case people go over there and see your comment, right? He said, look, you're not just flying somebody all the way to Google to just like shake their hand, right? There's something happening there. NDAs are being signed, deals are being done. From what Julian just said, like, hey, I've long been a fan of Zebec. It kind of seems like they may have had more than one conversation. And I don't mean just like, okay, let's talk 30 minutes before you get on the phone. No, it seems like they may have been speaking for quite a while. Maybe even Simon talked to him when he went over to Google and shared that picture with us. I don't know, just a little speculation on my part, but let's listen here.
I'm really excited to go through this one with you. I guess before we get started, Julian, do you want to just introduce yourself? Because I did a lousy job earlier.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Julian Mackins, I'm JP Morgan, Bank of America. I've done consulting at Citigroup. I've worked for SaaS fintech companies, and most recently, I've been at Google for the past 6 years now, focusing on a lot of our generative AI capabilities on the operations side. So yeah, really, thanks again for having me, and I'm looking forward to this combo.
Awesome. At the highest level, Julian, because this is where I'd like to start you off at, based on your experience, how are big tech companies thinking about this shift I was speaking about from like AI assistance to like real genuine workflows and movement of money?
Yes. So I mean, this is right the fundamental question that everybody's asking now. So if we just kind of take a step up for a second and we look at the evolution of AI, it started as something as basic as a search engine and looking at pattern recognition and trying to just fill in what is the next best word. And then you moved into what I call like the chat era. So this would be your chat bots. And then now you have the chat interface. So I want to talk to it and get an answer. Very kind of basic, simple tasks. And then from there, we've moved a little bit more complex into generative AI. How do you create an image, a video? And then now we're kind of moving into this agentic AI world. And it's really here. And the thing with agentic AI is we're now trying to complete tasks across multiple tools and services rather than these one-off instances like AI was being used historically. And so I think with that, we start looking at where is our focus shifting? And it comes down to usefulness, productivity, continuity, and context, rather than these somewhat like one-off interactions. And as we're kind of taking that question back up a level again to what does this mean for big tech? It's an opportunity to embed AI in your, quite frankly, your daily lives, like whether you're searching, creating, watching, buying something. But it's making it seamless as possible and still allowing you to be in control of it.
Got you. Okay.
That's really a really succinct and awesome answer there. Again, it's really easy to think about how, you know, we use Claude and things now and it makes things simpler. Now imagine embedding AI into your investment portfolio, and your investment portfolio based off of how you've set up your algorithm is working for you while you sleep. Amazing. Or as a company, your treasury is working for you as you sleep, right? Again, this is going to lead to a lot of loss of jobs for people. But again, as far as liquidity for Zebec and liquidity for different coins that can take advantage of this agentic AI economy, well, it looks really good for that, right?
I love that. And how do you think about AI like operating inside of those real commercial environments, right? Because a lot of people still imagine AI inside like an LLM or a chatbot window, but you know, like the ecosystem you work within specifically, like it touches, you know, broadcasting kind of apps like YouTube, wallets, subscriptions, creators, advertising, commerce. So how are you thinking about AI operating in those commercial environments moving forward?
Yes, yeah, great question and very applicable to I guess both the YouTube system, but as well as even if you think about Instagram, Snapchat, how all of these businesses are running becomes a lot more powerful when it's connected to real user journeys, such as discovering content, whether it's subscriptions, could be creator tools or advertising. But as I'm thinking about this, though, the challenge is it's making it helpful without it feeling intrusive and still making sure, kind of as we talked about a little bit briefly, the user is still in control. So then it comes really ultimately down to how do you make the environments trustworthy? How do you make them so they're auditable? You can like actually go back and audit it. And then how do you have different levels of this permissioning access and clear user intent?
Yeah, totally, absolutely. And I think, you know, when you work through those kind of things, you start to see the size of the opportunity. And I wonder like how you guys are thinking about those internally, or just you personally. Actually, I'm interested in like what are the biggest opportunities for creators, for brands, consumers, merchants, or in fact like the platforms themselves when it comes to this kind of stuff.
Yeah, so I think what I can do here is kind of go through a few different examples of each one and where I think the biggest impact is going to come. I mean, the opportunity is so broad, but I think the creator and consumer economy is definitely an immediate win, because you can really remove friction from everyday workflows. And I mean, anybody else that's on the call right now that is a creator probably knows how many different tools and how many different friction points there are in order to run your business. And then from like a brand and merchant point of view, I think when AI helps match kind of intent with action, so whether that's discovering something new online or that directed discovery to purchase, that's really beneficial. And then from a platform point of view, it's going to be consolidating workflows. How do we consolidate so we don't have a lot of disparate workflows, and how do we make them more personalized?
Absolutely.
Okay, now this sounds like a really high level conversation. He's talking about how did he say it? Collapsing workflows. I'm going to go back 15 seconds and let him say it again.
Or that directed discovery to purchase, that's really beneficial. And then from a platform point of view, it's going to be consolidating workflows.
Okay, consolidating workflows, right? And you guys wouldn't believe how much stuff it is to do on the YouTube backend. But when we talk about consolidating workflows, here's a nice analogy. Think about the iPhone. Think about how many workflows that the iPhone consolidated and how many things that it put out of business just by consolidating it into a phone. Like a calculator, you really don't need that anymore. An alarm clock, you really don't need that anymore. Like so many things it put into your hands as an iPhone. A computer, like almost a personal computer, you technically really don't need that anymore because you have your iPhone, right? Agentic AI, not only in the YouTube space, but in the treasury space, is going to consolidate so many different workflows. And again, this is going to lead to a lot of loss of jobs, right? So again, you as an investor, you need to be on the forefront of this, because everyone else is really going to lose big on this, right? As far as like loss of jobs. But as an investor, you can really get on the forefront of this, and you get on the blue chip companies that are leading this. This is what we're doing in a Patreon, right? Shout out to us. Shout out to what's going on with Zebec. But this consolidation of workflows, think of what the iPhone did. This is what the agentic AI is going to do for things like Google when it comes to creators, and when it comes to treasuries for companies. It's going to consolidate a lot of workflows. Let's continue.
How do we consolidate so we don't have a lot of disparate workflows, and how do we make them more personalized?
Absolutely. When people talk about agentic AI, they often talk about models or intelligence or orchestration. They talk less about payments. And I think what's really coming to the fore for me is that it's one of the most important points, like, to getting all of this right. So from your perspective, how important is the payments layer if AI agents are going to become genuinely useful operators and companions?
Yes, yeah. I mean, I would say even more than important, I would say essential. Let's go as far as to say
Yeah.
that. And that's because, right, you can't create true autonomy without having this in a commerce environment. It's just it wouldn't be possible. You need this extra layer of speed. You need this extra layer of protection, of privacy. And really, like, I kind of break it down like the key is not to give agents unlimited financial freedom, which is obviously everybody's fear. If you have something autonomously running kind of out in the wild, even that you built on your own, right? The fear is it goes crazy on your credit card. So really to think about it.
Okay, before he started talking about the fear, he started talking about it was essential. And think about Zebec. It's really going to consolidate a lot of workflows as well. And that once you're paid in real time, there's like 5 or 6 different workflows in the super app that you can now do, as far as investing goes, as far as sending remittance payments, paying your bills, right? As far as doing lending, right? That's all there involved in the super app. There are like 5 or 6 or 7 different things you can do with your money there. All in one shop, right? So again, with Zebec doing that, do you really need a bank? No, you don't really need a bank. Do you really need to go go into a bank and get a loan? No, you can apply for it right there on your phone. Do you need to go to Western Union to send money to somebody? Nope, you can just send it through the super app. Do you need it for do you need to another little application to garner your to do your taxes and get all your receipts and everything? Maybe Zebec does that for you. There's a whole bunch of things that they're consolidating, whole bunch of workflows that they're consolidating with the Zebec super app. And it's one of the reasons why I'm very high on Zebec, because they're hitting multiple verticals: treasury, payroll, instant payments, lending, investing. They're hitting it all.
Simply is like, how do we just give an agent $1, and how do we trust that they are going to allocate that $1 correctly to the tools that are needed, and how do we trust that they're not going to go over?
Yeah, it's a really interesting one, and that's a great analogy, actually. Simon, this feels like a natural place to bring you in, really. Like, Zebec wasn't built specifically for AI agents, but loads of the infrastructure sounds very relevant here, like real-time payments, stable coins, spending controls, virtual cards, etc. How do you see Zebec fitting into this future?
Well, when you think about it, AI agents were meant to transact and operate in an on-chain environment using stable coins really as their payment or currency of choice. And we didn't necessarily build to this future initially at Zebec, but we're now realizing that a lot of our infrastructure and our rails work particularly well for autonomous agents, which will most likely run the tasks in a finance or an HR department over the next 5 to 10 years. So payroll, of course, is being our first most obvious and proven use case. but a lot of our technology can expand into any aspects of the economy where autonomous agents are operating.
So you hear that, right? He said that we didn't start for that. It's debatable. But he's saying that HR and payroll departments, they're going to be in that area, right? So again, if you're a person that's in HR and payroll, or you have a kid that's about to go to college, you may want to steer them clear from that area, because the jobs are going to be sparse when it comes to that. It's going to be short. They're going to be like very small amount of jobs, because agentic AI is going to burrow into that, and the agentic AI is going to take care of most of those tasks. It's going to be automated. You can program the algorithm and it will work 85 times. That's a made up number, but it's going to work 1,000 or 85 times more efficiently than a human is going to work in that area, right? So it's going to work X amount of times better. So again, gotta love that. Much liquidity. Sad for the people that are going to lose their jobs, but really gaga about how Zebec is going to get liquidity in that area, in multiple areas: lending, treasury, payroll, spending, you name it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it feels literally made to measure. I'm really, really excited about that. Julian, do you mind if we bring this a little bit closer to YouTube specifically? I mean, the reason I say that is because creators on YouTube already operate like small businesses. They have revenue, subscriptions, sponsors, editors, tools, software. There's loads of stuff going on there. How do you see AI changing the way creators manage their businesses?
Yes. Yeah. They really are, right? I think if you just take a step back, it would be, interesting to see per creator how many different tools they're using. But I mean, from what I know, I would say on average, probably 8 to 10 different tools in order to run a successful creator company. And then on top of that, it could be headcount allocation for editing. It could be onboarding a new employee for graphic design, whatever it might be. But AI really comes in because it's going to help the creator manage this operational component across that planning phase, across the analytics when they're working with community production, monetization, these kind of different components that they've kind of had to do in isolation and really on an island as a small business are now going to really be kind of all tied together, I would say, from like an agentic AI ecosystem.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many tools I use as a creator, right? And I know other creators that use even more, right? Maybe that needs to be a Patreon specific tier, right? Like content creation, right? But I can see how agentic AI can help all these different tools, because a lot of the tools I do use are agentic. They have an agentic feel to them. They have a robotic. They are computer programs, right? So again, they're saying they can consolidate them all. They can do things with payment with them all. Okay, let's go ahead, Google. Let's do it. Let's do it. And it seems like they're having discussions with Zebec so that they can do some consolidation as far as payment is concerned. So it'll be very interesting to see how they use Zebec when it comes to payment for Google, right? Let's continue.
And do you think we could see AI agents helping creators manage things like sponsorship, subscription, content operations, analytics? That's a big one. And production tools. And I guess, of course, also payments themselves.
Yes, yeah, for sure. So, I mean, I think I mentioned this earlier, but I'm sure there's a lot of content creators out here, and you all know how admin heavy the work can be, and also juggling multiple platforms and tools constantly. So I think where AI agents have actually really even already started to embed themselves, and we're kind of just starting to catch traction and stride. It's in these creator processes. So I think within that, we're looking for more efficient, I would say, process mappings. So these agent workflows also don't become more administrative. And what I simply mean by that is, so if you have 6 different processes you're running, instead of just having 6 different individual tools you have to manage, those 6 tools should be able to talk to each other as well to really help you out and save time.
Yeah, it makes sense. Makes total sense. Do you mind if I push you a little bit on the future of like creator payouts? Like how are the big tech companies considering those?
Yeah. I mean, this is a fun one. It is constantly evolving. So I don't know if you all saw, but so YouTube in the US is started this program back in December. It's to pay out creators in PYUSD, which I believe might be at the forefront of the industry and moving towards different forms of payment in that way. And from like really a business and selling point of view for creator payouts, businesses are going to have to remain flexible. So I think even kind of bringing it back to real-time payments. Like if I'm a creator and I have to choose between Instagram, between YouTube, between TikTok, I'm going to need some selling and some value proposition between the three for which one I'm going to pick. And I think that's where these tools are really going to become advantageous as we move in the future from both a business point of view as well, really as a creator point of view.
Yeah.
Now, interesting enough, just from a creator standpoint, as we get more and more creator centric, no one really watches the news per se. The way that the news gets its ratings is by having things on in airports. The bottom line is creators are going to be the new salesmen, and YouTube does keep lowering AdSense money more and more. So the best way creators are going to get paid is going to be to advertise. And that's basically what he's saying, bottom line. So they're going to have all these tools and all these things that will make it easier for creators to advertise and get paid.
Amazing. Simon, from Zebec's side, is this the kind of infrastructure that could, support that future? Like, are we building for that here at Zebec? Simon! Oh no, he's muted. Oh, there he is.
No, I was saying, as you think about it, a lot of our infrastructure is built exactly for this, right? It's for payouts across a large number of people, a large number of geographies. And of course, if you look at YouTube setup, you have, I think, over 3 million creators that are being paid out 10 billion plus in creator fees. And when you think about it as a company, how much are you paying in FX fees? How much are you paying in local bank fees? And a stablecoin based solution presents enormous cost savings for YouTube, but also a lot more flexibility for creators, especially ones that are in far-flung markets, right? Overseas, they have local payout options like MoneyGram, for example, that they can cash their stable coins out into cash immediately. And we also give them the option of more frequent real-time payments rather than batch processing. So for example, if you're getting paid in terms of views on a video, those views could translate into stable coins coming into your account in real time. So very powerful stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Julian, from a platform.
This is amazing. Can you imagine just creators getting paid real time? Oh man, that's crazy. And that's even awesome, like saying from like a YouTube standpoint, but then imagine something like only ends, only ends, and something like that, right? I'm not gonna say the full thing, you know what I mean? Imagine something like that. Imagine something of that ilk having instant payment. That would be kind of revolutionary.
Form perspective, how important is it that financial tools work globally, like not just in major Western markets?
Yeah, I mean it's a must. It's a must that they need to work cross border, and I think you're just going to continue to see that grow. I mean, even as we look at creator markets and the amount of creators now coming out of India, the Philippines, Latin America, Southeast Asia, they're all critical markets for creator economy as a whole. And this is where we're seeing a lot of the growth rate. And so I think really as a result of financial infrastructure, it needs to work across these currencies, banking systems, and really like provide that different level of access with local regulators.
Yeah, absolutely. Simon, I want to be conscious of your time here. So I'm close to wrapping up, I guess, just from your end, like final thoughts when it comes to this subject, like where, you've been going into the Google offices, etc. You're obviously looking at this as a huge opportunity. Where's that with you right now?
Well, we're very much in the early innings here, and we're happy to be exploring this alongside Google and YouTube. Of course, at Zebec, payroll is what we're known for, and it's been the use case that we've built our global business on over the past 5 years. But with AI automation now defining all aspects of our global economy, stablecoin-based payroll systems like ours are going to be essential for any business that wants to remain competitive over the next decade. So we are positioned at the forefront of this change, and where I think we're going to see as the market evolves, we're going to expand through a lot of new partnerships, bringing new volume into Zebec that are outside of our core enterprise payroll use case. So super exciting times, and really happy to have Julian on today to the show. And we're looking towards continuing the conversation with them.
Amazing. And Julian, conscious of your time too, so grateful for the answers that you've given us so far, really considered. I really appreciate that. Maybe without getting all dystopian,
Yeah.
what should people pay attention to over the next, say, 12 months when it comes to AI and agentic commerce?
Yes, yeah. I mean, I'll just give two quick key points here. The creator ecosystem's 320 billion at the moment. If we look across brand spending, platform payments, creator infrastructure, I mean, I see this moving to 500 billion over the next few years. This is where the industry is going. And then also from like an agentic economy and agentic native payment solutions point of view, there really is prime opportunity for full autonomy here. So kind of really excited to keep following and see what Zebec's doing.
I love it. I'm really looking forward to bringing you on again, Julian. I feel like I could pick your brain for hours, and I know the community now will have lots of questions. So I really want to thank you for your time today. I really appreciate you coming up, and Simon also at your end too. Thank you for giving me so much time and answering so many questions.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Julian.
Nice one, Julian.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate you too. JJ, let's wrap it up here.
So we got it. So the creator economy, I think, is really going to pick up. Honestly, I believe that's how they're going to replace a lot of these jobs that AI is going to take away. But let's get into this deal here. You guys, I said we would bring up MoneyGram again, and here they are introducing MGUSD, MoneyGram's native US dollar stablecoin, natively issued on Stellar, built with stablecoin Bridge here. Remember, we've talked about Bridge before. Also MO, okay. And then Fireblocks. Shout out to my guy Maximus Crypto. We've told you Zebec connections with Fireblocks like years ago. We told you this, right? Yes, we've been talking about Zebec for almost like a year or plus on this channel, right? So definitely go back and check some of those old shows. But here we got this deal with MoneyGram. We also got a deal with stablecoin for SoFi. First national bank to have its own stablecoin, SoFi USD. First stablecoin issued by a U.S. national bank, redeemable 1-for-1 for cash or cash equivalents, rolling out now. It's built for how money moves today, fast, flexible, 24/7. Again, think about if these companies need to have a stable coin to plug into this agentic AI economy, then every company that's big like this is going to have it to plug into the agentic economy. Okay, so expect more of these coming out in the future here. Credit unions with the Metallicus, right? Places like MoneyGram, places like PayPal, of course, places like SoFi. Just expect more and more and more and more of these. And then also here, the future of trading just landed. AI agents can now trade stocks on Robinhood. And here it is, right? Okay. Definitely note that investor Tim Draper, we put out a short today. Tim Draper is an investor, initial investor in Robinhood. He's also an initial investor in Coinbase. And since he's an initial investor in Coinbase, he has a piece of Zebec. So very interesting there, right? But then to this deal that may have further Zebec implications, MoonPay and Franklin Templeton have formed a new strategic partnership. Includes tokenized financial products, institutional trading infrastructure, on-chain capital markets, stablecoin liquidity. Okay. Now, let's go over to JV Vink. He is a building development person for Zebec. Shout out to JV here. This is who he's following. It used to say on this platform that all partners are followed, all partners of Zebec are followed, but growing Zebec, sharing insights, not advice. Shout out to him. Well, let's see who he's following out here. Well, let's look at this here. Well, he's following MoonPay, right? And MoonPay has an office in UK. Simon's based in UK. They're doing a lot of business in UK. That makes sense. Well, looky. He's following Franklin Templeton there. Well, we also know that Franklin Templeton has Stellar connections. And we know that Stellar just did what they did with the BTCC. So this deal to me, tokenized financial products are going to move through MoonPay. And Zebec may have a hand in that. Okay. There's a lot of different connections with MoonPay and Zebec. But here, I'm telling you, this is screaming some Zebec for me that, hey, these tokenized products are going to move, may make their way to the super app here. May make their way to the super app. No, Franklin Templeton recently just bought their own crypto wing. They have their own crypto investment wing. They bought another company, I think it was Coin Fund. And Coin Fund, they bought them and kind of made them their crypto investment wing. So here, big move here. And also note that MoonPay has its own AI agents. So a big move with like two connector pieces that people are going to kind of miss this, right? But I think this has big implications for Zebec. Right, AI agents need crypto. Now they have it, introducing MoonPay agents, the non-custodial infrastructure for autonomous transactions, on-ramp, swap across chains, trade on-chain, off-ramp, multi-chain, native X402 support, one CLI command prompt. Okay. I don't know. I think there's just so much stuff coming up here. And of course, we know Carolyn Pham, former acting chairperson for the CFTC, mad Ripple connections. We'll see her post Ripple-ish language onward and upward and things like that. I think she did a tour of Ripple, right? And who was partnering with Ripple? Well, Zebec is. So again, I think this has big Zebec implications there. Franklin Templeton, we already know Stellar implications there, and we know Stellar is partnered with Zebec. Stellar is partnered with DTCC. Man, these tokenized stocks are coming to a super app near you, a Zebec super app near you. So again, price might be down right now, but all of these big moves are happening behind the scenes. And before we know it, the price will catch up with all of these big moves, right? It's really kind of funny that they're putting out all of these big moves while the sentiment is low. I mean, it's not funny. It's really kind of how it works, because people are not going to pay attention. They're going to let these big news things pass like a fart in the wind. And all of a sudden, once the price goes up, they're going to be like, oh, why is Zebec up right now? Not knowing all of the news that happened when times were bearish, right? So what are you going to do, right? Oh, what are you going to do? Now, granted, again, I think that Bitcoin may fall down to the 55 area. Maybe you'll be able to get Zebec at a lower price than this coming up here pretty soon. Maybe it will get down to the 0.0019 area, possibly. But again, whether you get it at 0.0027 or 0.0019, when it's past 5 cents, you're going to be happy with yourself, right? You're going to be very happy with yourself once it's past 5 cents. And there's no reason to believe it won't. Again, global company, Europe, Middle East, Southeast Asia, the US, okay? Zebec's there. And oh, one other thing too that I noticed from JV's follows, which we need to follow up on this and do another episode on this. Parker Spann of Telcoin, founder of the Telcoin Association. He's following him. Could there be a Telcoin Zebec partnership going to be announced here soon? Might happen soon. Where are you at, Proud for Puerto Rico? Hey, I'll follow you for sure. I know you've been over here on a couple shows. Send me a message, bro. I'll definitely follow you. But yeah, let's get into some of these comments. So the explaining part of the show took a little bit longer than it normally does. Usually we get it done in about 20 minutes to 30 minutes. But here we are. We're going to get to the comments. So let's go ahead and get to the comments. What's up, Shalom? Are you ready for its Zebec super train? I told y'all $1 will be really low once it starts running. Spaces had a lot of gems. Yes, the Spaces did have a lot of gems, and we just covered it. What's good, Rue and the good people? That's the bank partnership next week will be really good. It will be. Now, notice sometimes Zebec runs inverse of the market sometimes, right? That's the same type of action we're getting right now with Near, where the market's down, Bitcoin's down, but Near's running regardless of what's happening with Bitcoin right now. So you have that in that some things end up running kind of the inverse of the market. And it seems like ZBCN has been one of those coins that, like, when Bitcoin's trailing, Zebec's actually running. So could it follow Bitcoin and go down to this yellow area, 0.002 area? Or with that big bank announcement of an enterprise partner tomorrow, next week, send Zebec higher and back into the 0.003 range? We shall see. We shall see. What up, Rue? ¿Cómo estás, carnal? After that announcement on Epic, I woke up this morning and it jumped to 45 cents. You got some power, my guy, my man.
My man.
Hey, Epic, shout out to I think it was little green man, or little light green man who mentioned it on the show. And I bought some that day, and yep, it's up to 45 cents. Very happy about that purchase. Zebec is no longer a meme. Well, Zebec's never been a meme to me. I don't know. It's different wheelhouse now. This is a blessing to know about this project 100%. What's up, John 316? Is 10 million ZBCN enough to have? Again, always tell people, okay, I'm hoping for 5 this cycle. Okay, again, yeah, if you're hoping for 5 cents this cycle, then that's $500,000, right? You can do a lot of danger. You can get a lot of things done with $500,000. You know what I mean? But it's all up to what you want and what you're going to do with it, right? Have the plan set and prepared. I'm putting $100,000 here. I'm going to get passive income here. I'm going to do this here. For me, it's like that. You know, shout out to the Patreon. Come on over to the Patreon. We can show you some plays, some passive income plays that you can get in both the stock market and the crypto market. Shout out to the Patreon where we talk about stock and crypto plays, open mic nights every Saturday, symbolism Sundays every Sunday, and our exclusive chat rooms where people are buzzing and posting information every day. See here. I heard about ZBCN late, or it's back late, but I ain't missing this one like Bitcoin indeed. Okay, yeah, I was running a little late, y'all. Sorry about that. Granddaddy Orca. I love that name. That's a good name. That's a great name right there. Granddaddy Orca had to sell. I had to eat some of that dip. Daddy Orca's dipping in the dip over here. Let's give him the leaving with something. He leaving with that dip.
Yeah. I see a big tray. I'm like, I'm leaving here with something. You know what I mean? I'm from around the way. I'm leaving with something.
Hey, Daddy Orca's leaving with something out here. Guess I got yep, we got that. I'm in the gym, but tune in for sure. What's up, Throbbing Lantern? Shout out to our Zebec Nation crew. We'll share their stuff in a second here. And again, shout out to the Coin Vault crew out here. Rob, you nailed that. You nailed that dip, brother. You nailed it. He's been talking about it for weeks. Again, guys, take the opportunity with these dips. Take the opportunity. Everything is on sale right now, right? It's on sale. Peter Morton in the gym as well. Give us the news, bro. What's up, Monarchy International Realty? What's up, our brother Underdog Research Channel in the house today. Shout out to Underdog Research Channel. Let's definitely go over to those channels here. This will be a perfect time. Let's check out our brother Underdog Research Channel. Definitely come over to my channel, like and subscribe, where you can go ahead and find these creators we're talking about. Just go to my homepage, mosey on down, and you'll see Underdog Research Channel right here. Let's check out what video he's done here lately. He has here lately the Perceived Plume Config Part 2. Definitely check it out. Bro is doing some great work on Plume over there. Shout out to a brother Underdog Research Channel. Let's go ahead and show Zebec Nation, which Throbbing Lantern is a part of. Shout out to Zebec Nation crew. ZBCN Man Brother 314 Crypto. Definitely check out their shows. Throbbing Lantern show is the Zebec Gazette. Definitely check that out as well. That's them right here. Shout out to Patriot Party. Shout out to Zebec Samurai. Shout out to Crypto Star Whale, and brother Mr. Foresight. And shout out to my Coin Vault crew people, my guys, Max and Rob, the triple threat in the house, right? Our latest show here, Rumors and Connections, Layer 3 Bombshell, in which we had Shook Focus Digital in the house. Awesome show there. A lot of fun. Definitely come over here. Most of the Metallica's content we do over here. All right. Any quant content we do over here, as well as Jasmine content. Definitely come and check it out over here. And we also have our live streams, which AI kind of halfway got me right on this one. Halfway got me right. But you know what I mean? It did the best it could. But it kind of got there. Let's continue on here. Simon said the mobile app will be out in 2 weeks or so. Yes, indeed. We got that. And then also check out our brother Crypto Crossroads show. Again, head right over to my channel. Mosey on down. Here's Shook Focus Digital here. Max. The Mooneyverse. Got to get Mooney back on here. Gentleman of Crypto. King is back now. NYC Odd App. Simon Family Investments. Benzinga, One-on-One Media, Crypto Future, Ronin Experience, and the Crypto Crossroads Show. Indeed. Let's continue here. Wait a second. Let's see what Crypto Crossroads Show, his latest show. Visa, Stellar, and LightNet. Okay, definitely go check that out. Very apt for right now. What's going on with Stellar, right? This gets into Velo and what they're doing, right? What's up, King Pound? Then we got Black Card will be available for big spenders only and businesses related to Zebec. Yes, indeed. We heard that one. What's up, Mount Lion? What's up, Super Mario? And we got Crypto Crossroads Show with the $4.99 super chat. Thank you for our first super chat of the day, brother. AI and AI agents are taking over. If only we had the opportunity of a lifetime to invest in the rails AI will run on. Wink, wink, nod, nod. The homie Rue. Let's give you the Coming to America for that one.
Soon I'll be on fries, then the grill. A year or two, I make assistant manager. And that's where the big bucks start rolling in.
And that's when the big bucks start rolling in. Let's continue on here. I know you deserve more than this for the hard work you put in, man. I hope the bullish cycle treats us well. Indeed, brother. Indeed. Thank you for saying that. Like all creators do, I feel like out here, man. Like we definitely do. And you're one of the good ones out here as well, brother. Definitely go over and subscribe to our brother Crypto Crossroads Show. Let's get him up to 1,000. And definitely check out his channel. Some of the best research on YouTube. Okay. New Jersey in the house. Rue Crew member. Les Square in the house. Let's go. Rue Crew Patreon member. Paul Andrew, get out of town. Let's go. Can't wait till next payday. Indeed. What's up, Brett? What's up, E? Our moderator in Telegram. Shout out to you, E. Appreciate you, brother. Charlie J. What's going on, Charlie J? What's up, Rise Above in the house? Unwinding global carry trades by raising rates. What's up, Guap? The Bank of Japan makes borrowing in yen historically very cheap, expensive. This can force global hedge funds and institutional traders to liquidate. And I don't know about ICP Tech being light years ahead of near, but I did see that you said if I do a near video, you'll send 10 super chats, huh? Well, we'll see. We'll see. Maybe we'll get some near video, I guess I'm sorry, ICP videos. You said if I do an ICP video, you send 10 super chats. Oh, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see about getting another ICP video. I've been looking into that more and more here. What's up, Ocean View Coffee Shop? Zebec is not a one-trick pony. Phantom Beat, dip, dip, dip. And there's the information there. That one guy, white collar jobs on the chopping block. Lawyers going to start driving trucks. Indeed, definitely. Like paralegal is definitely on the list because you know, I think I was listening to shout out to Reggie Middleton, the father of DeFi out here. He was talking about how he was just like doing some paralegal work on these different AI platforms. And he was like, you know, my main guy, don't worry, you're cool, but like it saved him tons of money, right? Magic Hat in the house. Thanks, Rue, for this wonderful 411. I never panic, just knowing where this is headed. The proof is in the pudding. See, I got a lot of level-headed people in here. It's nice to see that. But definitely some people panic when they see this and they sell at the low, which is crazy, right? Like, you got to go the other way. When you see the low, you buy more, right? Trust me, after being through a couple different bull runs and bear cycles, they kind of make you feel so bad on these bear market times, right? Like what was I watching yesterday? BitConnect guy, Carlos Matos. That whole disaster that BitConnect was, right? But had you been like investing in 2017, right? When the market was going down in those times, and flash forward to 2026, man, you would be a millionaire right now if you would have invested in Bitcoin and Ethereum while things were down. Same thing here, right? Same principle. What's up, Tony S? So Carlton Wade, Zebec partner with Hulu, Netflix, and Prime, so we can pay specific shows we want to see instead of paying for multiple streaming services only to watch one or two shows. I think that's eventually the future, right? But I think that's like that might be when we get into metaverse, right? Because again, guys, I think they keep mentioning tokenization, and tokenization is going to help us as far as like it goes with agentic economy. But I think we're going to get to the point where people are literally, they cannot afford to buy a house, where they will have to tokenize to buy a part of a house. And that's going to be like middle class. Like you own a piece of a house and you're getting some rent on that equity. That's where we're heading. Inflation is going to be that bad. Profit Puerto Rico, do your own research too. Follow the best researchers. It's an advantage when you know what you have. Just wait for that to happen. Indeed, we're entering 24/7, 365 new financial system, and Zebec will be a part of that infrastructure. 100% star that comment. That's 100% accurate there. Let's give you the the Rick James.
Where's the 5 fingers? Say to the face! What? Slap!
Indeed. X402 is seeming more and more like a great play. It is. And shout out to the Patreon, where we are covering a lot of X402 plays, the like kind of cutting edge of X402 in the Patreon. So definitely come to the Patreon. Link is in the description. With Moon from Anthony Hall. Let's go. This is the best time for accumulation, 100%. What's up, Purple Rain? Billionaires are made when it's red hot, not when it's green. Exactly. Let me read that again. Billionaires are made when it's red, not when things are green. With assets like ZBCN, think you know what I mean. Indeed. You almost have to reverse engineer yourself to be happy during the red and to buy more during the red, to hold out, quote unquote, during the red. Yeah, proud for Puerto Rico. Where's your oh, is that the joke? Don't you better follow me anyway. Like, not financial advice, but follow me anyway. I need ZBCN at 0.001 for 2 more months at least. The only thing I'm panicking about is that it will bounce before I get paid tonight. I feel you. Should we be worried about competition from Stripe when it comes to payroll? No, Zebec, Stripe owns a piece of Stellar, and Stellar is partnered with Zebec. So that's why I definitely don't be worried about Stripe. Stripe's definitely helping out with this. So let me just show you that. Yeah, don't worry about Stripe. Stripe's assisting with all of this when it comes to tempo and Stellar. Stripe is like a partner, not a competitor. They're kind of frenemies, and that, of course, like Stripe's doing a little bit of its own thing, but they help create Tempo, and Tempo has the machine payments protocol, and with that machine payments protocol, they can do streaming payments, and Zebec streams, right? So you can see there, funds and backers are Stripe, right? Okay, here we go. Funds and backers for Stellar are Stripe. Sorry, not payroll, payment year rails. No. Stripe is going to help with the payment rails. They're going to help Zebec with that. Again, because they're an investor in Stellar, so they're going to help push Zebec forward. Let's see. What's up, Dreamer? Patreon member in the house. What's up, Marcus? RV, Patreon member in the house. So BTC is going down to 58K before 90K. I believe so. I believe it's going to go down to 50, 55-ish, maybe 60. Okay, before we get to 90, 100%. Loving the work you do always, man. Thank you, Dreamer, another Patreon member in the house. Kevin Garrett, another Patreon member in the house. Y'all back the truck up on some of these projects today. Indeed. Can you check on Adele on Canton? Okay, we'll have to take a look at that. Okay, let's take a look at Adele before we get out of here. Adele, I'm not sure how you say that. Decentralized non-custodial liquidity protocol to supply and borrow tokenized stocks and RWAs on Ethereum. It's up right now. Let's go check out its Twitter right quick, see who's following it. Under $10 million market cap. That's interesting. Gotta love that. External link, we don't care. Lattice. Star Rail is following this. Shout out to brother Crypto God, X Gold. Dreamers following it. Rachel. Longview Compute's following it. Okay, I like that it's at a very low market cap here. And the fact that it's on Canton. Oh, it's following World Liberty Financial too. Oh, yeah. And okay. All right. All right. I like this pick. Thank you. This is a good, I might look to get into some of this tonight. So thank you for that. Let's see where we can buy this guy at here. So I like what I saw there. And 60% of the supply is out. That's also awesome too. Okay. Yeah, coin. Go coin market cap. Okay, you can get it on Biofin, Aerodrome, Week, Uniswap. Looks like you can get it on Base, Uniswap, Pancake Swap. So then, does it have it must have a Binance contract then, huh? Base, Ethereum, Binance, Solana. Okay, yeah. I like this play. Thank you for dropping that play there. RLCSC 333. Remember me, you're rich. Of course. Yeah, I might have to grab some of that tonight for real. But if you made it to the end, put MoonPay in the chat. Once the live ends, put MoonPay in the chat. The more comments we get in the chat, it helps spread the video around. I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you guys so much, and I'm out. Peace.